Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while and it's Friday. And you know what? I haven't done a Franco Fridays in a long time. And I thought, I feel motivated. I'm going to do a Franco Fridays. So here we go. Dracula, Prisoner of Frankenstein. I just bought this from Severin. They released a beautiful Blu-ray print of this film. And I thought, man, I need to talk about this. Excellent slipcover. I wish I'm not a cardboard warrior, but I do like the graphics on it. Here's the cover, and there's no reversible artwork, unfortunately, but that's okay. Dracula, Prisoner of Frankenstein, 1971. Jess Franco did 6 films that year, just cranking them out. One of his more prodigious years. I mean, he's had a number of those where he's done even more than that. Uh, this film gets a lot of negative press, and I think many people hold this one up, amongst others, as an example of how bad Jess Franco is as a director. And I guess it doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't take into account the factors that were outside of his control, like budget, for example, and the time with which he was given to make a film. The story is convoluted. I will give you that. It's basically a monster mashup that I think it was inspired by Universal's House of Frankenstein and Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, as well as inspiration from the Paul Naschy Spanish films, which I think this film tried to take advantage of economically, as well as you know basically try to outdo Naschy as a Spaniards trying to outdo one another as far as monster movies. The story is starts with our buddy and versatile actor Howard Vernon plays Dracula, and he does a really good job. The first 20 minutes is kind of set in like the 1800s, and it's essentially Dracula attacks this woman, Van Helsing, or Dr. Stewart, I believe in this case. Dr. Stewart tracks down Dracula after he's brought to see the girl, and he manages to go to his Dracula's castle and kill Howard Vernon, and really kind of a scene that's really understated in a lot of ways. I mean, there's no blood. Staking has no blood. It's probably uh, not one of the better scenes that Franco's ever done. It was just kind of almost like just an afterthought as far as the kill. But after that, the movie heats up because you now have the interesting and troubled actor Dennis Price as Dr. Frankenstein. And what he does, he takes. So when Howard Vernon is staked in his coffin, there's no blood, but what happens is his body reverts to a bat. And then Howard Vernon, or rather Dennis Price, takes the bat and has his Frankenstein monster, go out and grab this girl from a nightclub, and he's going to rain down blood on this bat and bring back Howard Vernon. Silly stuff, but some of the Universal movies were silly as well. And actually, it really is a calling card to the Hammer Scars of Dracula. Scars of Dracula opens with, at the opening scene, a bat dripping blood on Dracula's remains. So it's very similar to that. So after Howard Vernon is brought back by the evil Dennis Price, now you've just got a hodgepodge of female vampires running around. Gorgeous photography. The female vampires in this are fantastic, and the castle that in Portugal where this was shot is outstanding. It really looks good, and you even get a Wolfman. You get this crazy Igor type character who almost is like comic relief, But after he dies from a vampire bite, he's brought back as a werewolf, and he, of course, has the obligatory fight with Frankenstein's monster. So that's the story. Uh, it is convoluted. There's a lot of choppy scenes, a lot of editing that makes you wonder what the hell's going on. I will tell you this: this thing has never looked better. This is definitely probably the definitive release for Dracula, Prisoner of Frankenstein, and I think it's a must own for Francophiles. You just got to have this. Uh, the 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 picture quality, the sound quality is outstanding. And one thing I'll say too, the film is not dialogue heavy. In fact, it's almost like a silent fucking film. It's almost like watching a 1922 Nosferatu in terms of there's just long periods of no dialogue. And earlier editions of this makes you wonder, well, what is going on? Because the dialogue's not propelling the story. The dialogue is not elucidating uh, plot points or anything like that. But what you have on this disc, and I highly recommend it, is if you watch the film, go to the subtitles English edition 4, because that has a narrative track. It's not a soundtrack, but it's a dialogue. It's a descriptive narrative at the bottom. It's kind of like uh, characters having their thoughts put onto the narrative. It's a narrative overview of what's going on, and that really changes the whole dynamic in terms of what's going on. You get a 100% better feel for this movie by that narrative track. So narrative track 4, that's the way to go on this. Uh, Other things about this film that are problematic: the special effects are very problematic. The makeup is problematic. The editing is problematic. But again, I don't know that I blame Franco for that. I just think it's probably money and time. He just didn't have money or time to do it right. So I don't really blame him for that. The other thing is there's an excessive use of zoom in this one, which he gets. Obviously, Franco is famous for, or infamous for, the zoom lens. It's all over the place in this film. Uh, at the end of the day, I got to give this a 6 out of 10. I liked it. I think it's fun. I like it, warts and all, flaws and all. I like it, and some people won't, but I get why you won't. But I still, at the end of the day, have a soft spot for this film. It's just a fun monster romp, and I think that Franco shows his love for and affection for the old Hammer Universal, the old Universal films through this movie. I wish you got, so as far as special features, you do have a 45-minute discussion by Stephen Thrower on the film, and then you've got In the Land of Franco, where he goes to the locations. That's part 10 of the series. You also have an opening credit sequence, Spanish opening credit sequence, and a deleted scene from the English language version. So all that is on the special features. The only thing that's missing is a commentary track, which would have been fantastic, but no commentary track, unfortunately. But I definitely recommend Dracula, Prisoner of Frankenstein. This edition, can't beat it, and it really will give you a whole broader perspective on this movie. And you may have dismissed it before, and I understand that. But I think if you watch this version with English track 4, you will be uh, pleasantly surprised. So with that, I will leave it. If you got any questions or comments, leave it in the description box below or the comments below. And I appreciate you watching. Thanks.